All right, let's dive right in. If you're a seasoned SQL Server DBA and you're suddenly finding yourself in the world of Oracle, you've come to the right place. Think of this as your personal translation guide. We're not starting from zero. We're going to map what you already know to this new environment. And this quote right here, this is everything. Seriously, the biggest hurdle you're going to face isn't learning a new command. It's unlearning the core assumptions you've built up over years. It's a complete mindset shift. And getting it right from the start is going to save you a world of pain. So that's our whole goal here. We're not teaching you databases from scratch. Come on, you already know your stuff. We're here to translate your expertise, to give you a new mental model so you can understand Oracle's philosophy and hit the ground running. And that translation has to start with the single biggest, most fundamental difference between these two systems. I'm not exaggerating when I say if you can wrap your head around this one concept, everything else is going to start to click into place. Okay, look at this. This basically flips the script on everything you're used to. In your SQL Server world, right, one instance, one service can manage lots of different independent databases. In Oracle, it's the total opposite. An instance, which is the memory and all the background processes, serves one single unified database. They are basically one and the same, completely tied together. So you're probably asking, well, if there's only one database, where do my different applications live? And the answer is the schema. The easiest way to think about it is this. What you call a database in SQL Server is almost exactly what Oracle calls a schema. It's just a logical bucket for tables and views, all living inside that one big database. Okay, so now that we've got that huge architectural shift down, let's look at how it actually affects your day-to-day life. Managing memory, dealing with logs, and how data gets read. Since Oracle just has that one database, you won't find things like master or MSDB. All that functionality is still there, it just lives inside logical structures, not separate databases. Your core metadata, that's in the data dictionary. Job history and admin stuff, that's in various DBA views. And your old friend TempDB, its equivalent is the temporary table space. Same jobs, just a different address. Memory is also a bit different. You know how in SQL Server you've basically got one big pool you tune with max server memory? Well, Oracle splits it into two main areas. The SGA, or System Global Area, which is shared by everybody, and the PGA, or Program Global Area, which is private memory for each connection. Now, the good news is you don't really have to sweat the details anymore. Modern Oracle can manage it all for you with just one setting, Memory Target. Now this is a concept that is an absolute game changer, especially coming from the world of SQL Server locking. In Oracle, by default, readers do not block writers, and writers do not block readers. It's a core principle called read consistency, and it is beautiful. So how does this magic work? Check this out. Imagine a huge report kicks off. While it's chugging along, some critical transaction comes in and updates the exact same data. In many systems, that report would get blocked. But not here. The report just goes to a special place called the undo table space and reads the old version of the data, the version that was there when the query started. Both the report and the transaction finish their work without ever waiting on each other. It's amazing. Okay, we've covered the big ideas. Now let's get down to brass tacks. What tools are you actually going to use to get your job done? It's time to build out your new Oracle DBA toolkit. Think of this as your go-to cheat sheet. For scheduling jobs, you're not using SQL Agent anymore. You're using DBMS_scheduler. For performance tuning, instead of the query store, you'll be living in AWR and Ash reports. Your execution plans are now called explain plans. And for high availability, instead of always on, you'll be working with technologies like RAC and DataGuard. See? The job's the same, you just need to learn the new names for your tools. Your whole approach to maintenance is probably going to change too. For instance, Oracle's automatic statistics gathering is fantastic, so you'll be doing that manually way less. You're also going to find that you almost never need to rebuild indexes. And for monitoring, you need to make the alert log your new best friend. It's the first place you look for errors, startups, shutdowns, all the critical stuff. All right, for our last section, let's have a little reality check. If you're actually migrating from SQL Server to Oracle, you need to know that it's about a lot more than just the technology. This isn't just a simple data copying exercise. You're going to run into hurdles. The data types don't always line up perfectly. All that business logic in your T-SQL procedures, it has to be completely rewritten in PL/SQL. And this is a big one. An indexing strategy that was brilliant on SQL Server might be terrible in Oracle. You have to understand that performance tuning after the migration isn't a nice to have. It is absolutely mandatory. So when you look at this whole complex process, what do you think is the most important piece of the puzzle? the migration software, the fancy new hardware. It actually all comes down to this number. And here's the punchline. A successful migration is maybe 40% about the tools you use. The other 60%, the majority of what makes a project work, is the skill, the knowledge, and the expertise of the DBA running the show. That's you. Your brain is the most valuable asset in this entire process. So we've translated the architecture, we've mapped out the tools, and we've faced the reality of the migration. You have the foundation now. The only question left is, are you ready to take what you know, embrace these differences, and really master this new world?